Pedro, 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 Pe. Yeah, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. How's it going, mate? You alright? I hope you're doing well. Genuinely do hope that. Chelsea have drawn with Italian champions Inter at Stamford Bridge in their final pre-season game. They also unveiled latest attacking signing, Portuguese wide attacker Pedro Neto. We're going to speak about that. We're going to speak about the game, but quickly, early doors, I just want to say, what do you want out of a pre-season game? Well, you want players to get minutes. Check. You want no players to get injured. Check. And you want to see, developing cohesion and an understanding of how the manager wants to play, especially if you've got a new manager. And I would say check as well. Yeah, we didn't lose the game. It was a draw against a very good opponent. Fine. But the scores don't matter in pre-season, man. I've been saying it. It's fun if you win and, whatever. If we'd slapped up Man City, it would have been, a great bit of, a dopamine hit to the old dome piece, but ultimately that doesn't matter. And I'm feeling pretty good about this, actually, and we're going to speak about it today, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen. So, as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content. If you want to support the content, all you got to do is drop a like on this video. It's super simps. Just drop a like, subscribe if you want to. Only if you want to. But if you choose to do so, hit the bell. Let's get into it. So, of course, we are going to talk about the game and player performances and ramifications from this final Stamford Bridge pre-season friendly. Well, final pre-season friendly at Stamford Bridge. The first opportunity for Chelsea fans, matchgoers, to see Maresca and his merry old men. And I must say, we looked pretty darn good. Even if we lost this 1-0, which looked like we could do, of course, we conceded the goal to Thuram, a great player, immediately after the cooling break. So it was literally a case of just not being, basically concentrating. But before we do that, I'm going to read the announcement of Pedro Neto from Chelsea. Of course, he was unveiled at half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea write this on their website. Chelsea are delighted to announce the signing of Portuguese international Pedro Neto from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Pedro signed a 7-year contract. It's a 7, I think, it says 7 here. I've always a 6+1, but this is saying a 7-year. Either way, whatever. And will begin training with his teammates at Cobham in the coming days. He said this: I feel really grateful to have joined this club, the 24-year-old said. I have worked really hard in my career to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting on the pitch with this shirt. He started his career, of course, in the youth system at Braga, of course. We don't know this. At Braga, Pedro's talent began to shine when he made his first team debut in 2017, scored in a 4-0 victory against Over Nacional. At 17 years old, 2 months and 5 days, he became the third youngest scorer in the club's history. So yeah, he's been doing it, bro. A 2-year loan move to the Italian giants Lazio followed, of course, during which he won the Coppa Italia, superb. That switch was made permanent ahead of the 18-19 campaign, and then he moved to Wolves in 2019. He scored and created a goal in his debut, a 4-0 win over, I'm going to try and read this, a 4-0 win over Punic in the third qualifying round for the Europa League, and quickly established himself as a regular in the Wolves attack. And boy howdy was he a regular in the Wolves attack. When this guy isn't injured, I've been saying it, he's a proper entertainer, get you up on his feet kind of thing. He went on to make 135 appearances for the club, and last season contributed to 11 goals in 20 appearances, over a goal contribution every other game. He also established himself as a regular in the Portugal squad during his time at Molineux, and has won 10 caps, last of which, of course, he played at the Euros. Well, now he plays at a high-profile, big boy club like Chelsea Football Club. You can imagine him floating around in the Portuguese national team a little bit more, right? Right? Guys, for me, this signing isn't about, numbers, particularly. It's about, this is an eye test signing. Me, myself, many of you that have watched Pedro Neto have been like, oh, bloody hell, this guy's good. Moments like that. And for me, that's what we need. You know, not Mudryk, or he could nearly be good if he just does this right, or not, you know, Sterling, he frustrates. This guy, yeah, get him the ball, we can do it. He's going to be sick. And we paid a lot of money for him, 51 million quid or something. I'm not saying we overpaid. It's a George Mendes signing. Chelsea, Todd Bowley's got a relationship with him, obviously. As soon as he bought Chelsea, he made sure to rub shoulders with that guy. Yeah, he's absolutely worth that. Man City would have paid that easily, especially if they're selling, like, you know, Alvarez for £82 million. Absolutely sensational signing, you must say. Right. So we're going to talk about this final preseason game now. I'm going to go over to SofaScore to use this as a reference point. Here we ruddy go. Chelsea 1, Inter 1. Of course, Thuram, like I said, in the 26th minute, scoring immediately after the cooling break when Chelsea didn't really look concentrating. It was a great assist. It was a great finish. A little bit too easy, but you might put that down to the cooling break. Chelsea, of course, equalising through Leslie Ugachukwu with the substitute in the 90th minute. Now, cast your eyes onto the left-hand side of the screen here, this bar here, gang. This is attacking momentum. And you probably can see the vast majority is green, which represents Chelsea Football Club. Really squeezing up on the Italianos. And bearing in mind, this, of course, is an Inter Milan with a very strong lineup that are champions of Italy, that are favourites to go on and win Serie A again. And it's the end of pre-season. Everyone should be fit. You know, this is a formidable opponent, whichever way you look at it. Here's the lineups, as you can see here. Back three system for Inter, as they are inclined to do. Simone Inzaghi, great coach. Of course, they got Jan Sommer in goal. He's got a good rating here on SofaScore because he made a lot of saves. You got back three here, the most notable of being a Cherby that apparently wanted to fight everyone, managed to get a ruck out of Levi Colwill, although in pre-season that proves to be not so difficult. Of course, they got Barella, probably their best player. DiMarco, Mkhitaryan in there, that's a throwback, played well. Barella, Darmian, we remember. Correa up front with Thuram, of course, scoring the goal. Now, Chelsea. We're going to make it a blue day. This was our lineup. As you can see here, Rob Sanchez in goal. I think he will be the preferred starter going into the campaign. It will be up to him to keep it over Jorgensen. Interestingly, right, so Cucurella is back and he starts. Colwill, Fofana. Now, these two, Colwill, Fofana, for me, are like my long-term dynasty defenders. I think they're the most two young and talented defenders. I think that should be Chelsea's centre-back partnership for the next decade. All things going right. I'm not saying they're like been playing amazingly at the moment, but in terms of amazing left footer, amazing right footer, different profiles, very high ceilings for both of them. That's my position. You don't have to agree with me. That's just how I feel. Interestingly, guys, Malo Gusto at right back, of course, in Reece James's absence with his hamstring injury and free game match ban coming. Malo Gusto played right back. Now, Malo, everyone thought with this that it would be Cucurella inverting because that's what he's done. But it's Malo Gusto. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. And I'll tell you why. Because Malo Gusto is better at going forward than Cucurella. Everyone will agree. Though many people would assume that would just be on the flank, not inverting. When he inverts, he gets forward. Marc Cucurella completes the back three. He stays back. So with him, he'll go forward sometimes. But with that, Malo Gusto is the position that goes more forwards. Now, interestingly, I want to check the heat maps. Yeah, he got really, really forward here. Quickly look at Marc Cucurella. So yeah, neither of them are massively inverted, but everyone was talking about the Gusto inversion. In fact, everyone was talking about, if you can see on the heat map, Gusto was playing on the right-hand side of a diamond. So it was Lavia who was staying back central. I say staying back centrally. They all pushed up so much that's how much he was. But he was more central. And it was Gusto on the right-hand side of a diamond, as you can see there of his heat map. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall at the tip of the diamond here. I'm trying to work out who's the left of the diamond. Because it was kind of like a diamond. It was... Enzo, there you go. And Enzo was the left-hand side of the diamond. So it was Lavia at the base of the diamond, Gusto on the right of the diamond, Enzo, as you can see here, the left of the diamond, and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall at the tip, and their heat maps would dictate that. You had conventional wingers and Noni Madueke and Mykhailo Mudryk, and striker Mark Gu starting up top. we saw substitute appearances as well. Let's have a look here. So Marcus Thuram scored in the cooling break. Oh, can you see that? Yeah, there you go. In the 26th minute. Colwill was fighting Cherby off the ball and half an hour in, which is just, he just fights everyone constantly, to the point where Wesley Fofana grabbed him and literally covered his mouth, like, stop talking. We go in at 1-0. Let's have a quick look at the stats in the first half. First half, we had 54% possession. We had not. So here we go, guys. We went in. Can you see that? There we go. We went in 1-0 down, but we went in 9 shots to their 2. They had 4 goalkeeper saves from Jan Sommer. We had 3 corner kicks to their 0. We were dominant. We couldn't convert. We couldn't score. And we conceded a goal immediately after the cooling break. I think it was largely down to a lack of concentration. It's not an excuse. You do have cooling breaks sometimes. But it was still a great goal from Thuram, and it was a good assist. Second half, 54%, bang on in both halves. Again, guys, totally dominant, the statistics in the second half. 12 shots to their 4, 3 times as many shots. Again, we forced more saves out of them. Again, we had more corner kicks, more passes. Chelsea were dominant in this game, even though we blagged a draw in terms of the scoreline. In terms of open play, the play was so much better from Chelsea, and we're seeing what we're supposed to do. Of course, we see Cole Palmer return to the side for the second half. Looks pretty pokey as well, and Kunku coming in looks excellent. Nearly scored an overhead kick, actually forced a really good save from the Inter keeper Jan Sommer. Of course, we see Caicedo and Vega come in for Cucurella. So this is a pretty like for like, actually. Cole Palmer comes in for Noni Madueke, he plays on the right, and Kunku comes in for Dewsbury Hall. He plays at that sort of tip of the diamond, attacking midfielder central position. Caicedo comes in for Lavia. Caicedo literally replaces Lavia at the base of midfield. Renato Vega comes in for Cucurella and does the exact same role as Cucurella. And Nico Jackson comes in for Mark Yu and plays as a striker. So, horses for courses here. Slight shape change at times, but ultimately the roles were being replaced by different personnel. The Chelsea manager, Enzo Maresca, really trying to hammer in roles into players here. Lots of changes as well on the hour mark from Inter. And then eventually we see the centre-back partnership change. We bring in Tosin, we bring in Badiashile. A couple more changes from Inter, and then a couple more changes from Chelsea. We replace Gusto for Ugachukwu, and we replace Sterling for Mudryk. And of course, Ugachukwu, in the 10 minutes Ugachukwu was on, I'm going to talk about player performances, but he was simply sensational. And a couple more changes for Inter. And we see half volley later on as we're applying pressure. I think it's from a set piece. Ugachukwu hitting a half volley. It bounces a little bit as well. Jan Sommer goes under Jan Sommer, who had a good game ultimately in this game. So in terms of player performances, Rob Sanchez, fine. Whatever, fine. We will learn more about both goalkeepers, both first choice and third goalkeepers, as the competitive domestic games start in the season. But I think he was fine. Gusto I thought was good. He is a great operator, Malo Gusto. He's seemingly playing that role well. I feel like he's just a good footballer that you can deploy in different positions and feel comfortable with. Cucurella had a good few moments. He got forwards well when he rarely did get forwards. I'm going to quickly double check now his heat map. Yeah, he did get forwards a bit, but he's generally more reserved. Both centre-backs were okay, I think. I think it's a lack of... The goal wasn't on an individual. Feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong. But we've got a long way to go, this Chelsea defence, before there's cohesion, understanding, chemistry. I do have high hopes for both Colwill and Fofana personally, but we're a long way from seeing it. The most notable talking point out of this centre-back partnership is, yet again, Colwill got into a fight. So... Cucurella good, Gusto good. Enzo Fernandez, of course, interestingly, real salient point here, man. Captain on the day. This sort of controversy with the Argentinian national team seems to be well gone. Playing in front of Wesley Fofana, playing as his captain. They respect him. He's a leader. He's good. He will be a starter in this Chelsea team. He's going to be an important player, Enzo Fernandez. Lavia, good as well. Lavia's had an impressive pre-season. I think Reece James aside, because he's got this new hamstring injury. But Nkunku, Lavia, they are here. They are footballers and they play for Chelsea. That is huge. We didn't have that last season, so very pleased. Lavia clearly is trusted. Joe Shields loves him. Of course, Enzo Maresca will know him from the City Academy as well. So very, very important indeed. And like moving forwards in the midfield, Keane and Dewsbury Hall looks pretty good actually. I wonder if there's just a ceiling on Dewsbury Hall that he's just going to be good, but he's never going to be a superstar as this 25-year-old. Maybe I'm just like hamstringing him because he's this, player that played well in the Championship for Leicester and he's mid-20s. But we'll see. I'm totally obviously open to him becoming an excellent player and beginning to develop. Noni Madueke is good. Of course, if you haven't seen my recent upload from this morning, we speak about Modric and Noni's stats on X Value. Go check it out. Quite surprising, actually, in Modric's case in terms of a positive stats. Frustrating, had a couple of good moments. We'll just see, won't we? This is just going to be such a telling season for so many players. But both passable, Noni probably marginally better. And then Mark Yu up top as the lone striker again. Has he played every preseason game? He's looked good. He's pressed very well. He's pressed intelligently, so he's not just running around like a madman. He's pressed intelligently. He combines well. He's only 18. He's only 18. He's in a new country. He's a La Masia player as well. So he's not like, it's not like his second move. He played at La Masia. He got through to Barcelona and suddenly he's made a big move to a different country, a different league. And he's played a lot of minutes in pre-season and looked pretty good. My position is, if we sign somehow Victor Osimhen on loan, I would loan Q because he deserves football. If not, because obviously I'm considering Samu being signed here as well. If not, then be very happy for Q to stay in the squad. He looks like an absolute smart operator. Let's talk about the subs. Vega looks very capable as that sort of left inverting left back. Fine. Jackson looked great. Jackson looked good coming back from injury. Palmer looked great. We don't really need to talk about those. They're probably our most two proven bankers in the Chelsea squad, or certainly in the attacking side of the pitch. Caicedo looked good as well. I do think the main talking points are not the centre-backs, Tosin or Badiashile, but probably the wingers and Nkunku. Nkunku looked amazing. I think Nkunku's such an elite player. He nearly scored an overhead kick. Playing centrally, starting from a bit of a deeper position. He's such a superb player. Sterling looked really good. I mean, it's very frustrating, Sterling, but he's got it in his locker. Again, not this morning, but recently we did a video on him in terms of stats dive on X Value. His profiling on stats websites is so strong. They look at Sterling and they're like, yeah, this guy can do it all. As a winger, he can do it all. And Ugachukwu, man. Ugachukwu literally did everything. He scored the equaliser. He did some excellent defensive work. He's the highest rated player on SofaScore here, looking at his stats for Chelsea. And he only played 10 minutes. He completed all his passes. He completed all his crosses. He completed all his long balls. He had 2 shots. They were both on target. 1 was a goal. He completed 3 out of 3 dribbles in 10 minutes, which is insane, by the way. He completed 3 out of his 4 ground duels, which is really, really good. And he won all his... he absolutely rinsed this. In his limited sample size, Leslie Ugachukwu just bossed absolutely everything. Dare I say, the perfect 10 minutes for a central midfielder to come on the pitch. I think it was absolutely sensational. Man of the match for me in 10 minutes, which is wild. Anyway, guys, pre-season done. I put it out to you guys. Let me know what you think. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you, as always, for supporting the content. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. We will continue to watch the transfers every day here, so do keep it locked, and I will take you through the season, as always, here on the channel. Look after yourselves. Peace.